All right, guys, we're having a little bit of issues. We're having a little issues with the hot seat tonight. I'm hoping this works a little bit for us. All right, guys. I think we're live. Yeah. All right. Good. Sorry, guys. I don't know what is going on. Bubba K, what's going on? Smoking Bears. We're gonna get everybody added in here real quick. Sorry that we're having issues. Sometimes that happens when you're going live. So I'm gonna add the boys in here. Dutch is still waiting to come on. Thank you guys for coming back in. Phil, give me a second. We'll add you in a minute. Shane, how you doing? Lee, what's going on? Sexy Josh is here. Hey, Sexy Josh. Lep, what's going on? Frack Daddy. Johnny, what's up? I don't know what's happening to Dutch. We lost him again. Sorry, Phil. Hold tight, buddy. Keep you guys in the green room down there. Food for Men, how you doing, Bruce? Enzo, how you doing? All the gyms are here. Guys, I went through the whole list, did a whole intro, a whole bit, and then I started seeing people in the chat comment that we weren't on yet. Mrs. CJ came in and said, you guys say you're live, but you're not. But I could still see the comments rolling, but I couldn't get the thing loading up. So this is not a good start. I apologize, everybody. I don't know where Kent is, but let's go ahead and bring in our guests. All right, guys. All right, Parker, what's up? Guys, welcome to the hot seat.
What's up? Thank you.
So sometimes we have little issues. That's what happens when you do some live streaming.
Technology is great when it works, right?
Exactly. All right, there's Dutch. I'm gonna move you real quick. Hold tight. Get Dutch in there. You on there, big guy? You alive?
I'm alive.
There's Farva.
All right. Turn your phone, buddy. All right. Cheese BBQ, how you doing? There we go. Woo. Extreme close-up, baby. All right. That is way extreme close-up.
Yeah, for real, man.
All right, guys. So, again, welcome to the hot seat. Sorry we had some issues to get going. Kent's still kind of standing up over here. Do you guys, are you watching this, Phil? Like, are you watching it on your TV or a computer or something?
Us?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want me to look somewhere else?
Yeah, look at the camera. Don't have that on, all right? All right. We all
better?
good? I think so. Are you good, Kent?
I'm getting here. Hold on.
All right.
Fucking phone.
Oh my gosh, what a clusterfuck! All right, guys. So what you missed? I introduced myself. I introduced everybody in the chat. Said hi to everybody. Set the super shot price at $25 tonight. Phil's got a big bottle of Maker's Mark right there with him. We always got the whiskey ready to roll. Keith Bettag, thank you for keeping track for us. We got 30 people in the chat. Guys, I know this was a cluster to start, but make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. Still can't figure this out as easy. Caleb looks like he's angry over there. What's up?
That's his Captain America face.
That's his Captain America face right on. Lewis at Arthur Barbecue, Roundhouse Barbecue. Frag Daddy. Yeah, I know. It's having issues.
Kirby. And send it to
We're gonna mute that right quick. Wow, Kent has everything going on. T-Roy dropping the super shot already. Atta boy.
T-Roy's here, huh? Nice.
Yes, sir.
Royalty already.
Cheers to the Godfather, T-Roy. All right. Take it. There it is. Atta boy.
I'm going to do another one.
Oh, shit. Well, Big Cat 305 just dropped one in there. So let's pour a little bit. Did the boys want to take some milk shots or some juice shots?
Can we get them some sedatives maybe instead?
Some NyQuil shots?
Nice.
Is that frowned upon?
Milk shots? All right, thanks, Big Cat. Appreciate it.
NyQuil? Did you say NyQuil?
NyQuil shots? I'll take. Yeah, hey, I'm gonna take a NyQuil shot later. That'll be good to go. Kathy DeGraw, I get to drink tonight. Hell yeah, you do. Uncle Steve Shake, what's going on, brother? The Rich Flavor was in the chat earlier. That's a new one on my channel, so welcome, guys. Son of a Pizza Man, Enzo. A couple of our moms are in there. Keith Bettag, I said. SmokeyGoodness. Miss Boogs is in the house. Blue Smoke, how you doing, brother? All right, guys, we got a packed house. Is someone like typing or clicking or something? Kicking anything? Nope. Okay. The grumpy old senior or gringo. Howdy, howdy. I think we're all good. What's new barbecue? KC, how you doing, brother? He's got his North Texas barbecue addicts hat on. Love it. Yep. Kenneth, I finished my video for Tough Like Jack.
Cool.
And we got
I saw you were editing on that today. I saw that, man.
Yeah,
like
man. That took a long time. That was I filmed over 35 minutes worth of film, and I knocked it down to like 16 minutes or something. I just couldn't take it out of it. Yeah. Wow. I usually don't make my videos that long, but it needed to be. There's a lot of explanations going on. Where's old Dustin at?
He's trying to put the new link on our social media.
That must be what I'm hearing in the background. Frag Daddy, what's going on? All right.
What's up, Jared?
Jared. All right. Guys, everybody say hello to Cooking with CAD. I think we're missing Dustin. He's doing some work in the background. Say hi to everybody.
What's up, guys?
All right. Introduce yourselves, guys.
All right, so Cooking with CAD, for those of you that maybe haven't subscribed and haven't watched any of our videos, I've got two sons, Caleb and Dustin, so I thought it'd be a good name for a channel. So Cooking with CAD, Caleb and Dustin. This is Caleb. Say hi, Caleb. Behind the lens, but in front of the lens today is Dustin. Say hi, Dustin.
Hi, Dustin.
And this is the hotness factor right here. This is Mama CAD, Nikki.
Love it. Welcome, guys. I really appreciate you guys coming on and putting up with our amateur status. Trying to get online tonight. It's usually not that big of a deal, but can you have some issues there, Bubba?
Yeah, now I can't get the Bluetooth to hook up for the microphone. So,
all right, well, you're good. You're good, man. I can hear you just fine.
All right.
Beto, what's up, Jason? How you doing, buddy? All right, guys. As always, Kent will be taking questions from the chat. So if you have any questions, put it at Daddy Dutch Barbecue so we can see it, and he'll ask the questions. Russell, make sure the questions don't suck. Appreciate it. You're going to drive get the drink. The Sassy Kitchen Queen at Green Home Barbecue and Beer. I love that. What's going on? All right. You guys ready for these hard-hitting, deep questions?
Let's do it. We've been ready for a couple of months, man. Let's roll hardcore.
Right on, right on. There's the toughest one yet. Where are you guys from? Where do you live? Where you grow up? Tell us about it. Tell us all about
it. We live in a little town in Texas called Little Elm. It's right next door to Frisco, Texas, which is the world headquarters of the 5-time Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys. I won't talk about the game last week. But, yeah, we live in Little Elm. I was born in Tucson, Arizona. I was adopted there by my adoptive parents, obviously, duh. Nikki was born and raised in Springfield, Missouri.
I was born in Missouri. Moved down here when I was in about 3rd grade. This is home for me.
Right on.
Yeah, she graduated from Flower Mound Marcus High School in Flower Mound. And both Dustin and Caleb were born here in Texas, one in Louisville and one in Frisco. So that's us in a nutshell.
Very cool, very cool. Well, usually this is the Greenhorn Barbecue and Beer said, go Dallas. So you got some Cowboys fans in the chat with you.
Yes, sir. Beat the Packers on Sunday.
I wouldn't say that too loud with old Kent in the background there.
Yeah.
Oh,
He would be Fudge Packer, huh?
oh, see, that's how things get
Yeah,
started.
see, in Texas.
Well, hey, Phil, it was great having you on. Good show. Good night, everybody.
All right, I'll go unsubscribe you right now. Now you can wear the hat, man. It looks a lot better than that damn stuff on top of your head. I'd say put the hat back on.
All right, real quick. I remembered. There we go. There's the logo.
Damn.
Sent 1000. What's going on, Joey B? How you doing? Smoking Joe's Pit Barbecue
What's up, Joe?
from Michigan. How you guys doing? Appreciate you all being here. Sorry again for the technical issues to start, but it happens. So usually this is the question I ask about your family life, wife, kids, dog, cat, all that shit, but they're all there. So we'll skip that question over. Unless you guys got some animals you want to bring up into the
Dustin, try to bring Farley over here. We have a very spastic dog. His name is Farley, after Chris Farley. He's a ridiculously dumb puggle, half pug, half beagle.
Oh, right on.
And he's an idiot. Dustin's trying to bring him over.
He
Let's
is as
see.
cute as he can be, but bless his heart, he's dumb as a bag of rocks.
There's Farley.
Yeah, there he is.
Oh,
He's
look at that.
special.
He is
He's
special.
definitely special.
Yeah, so that's Farley. So he's on the couch chilling. We usually don't let him on the couch, but I figured for tonight, for less drama, he can have at it on the couch.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
And no other pets. No other pets.
Except him.
Just the kids.
Yeah,
Just the
except the 2
kids.
boys.
Yeah. It look like they keep you guys running pretty hard. All right. So besides YouTube creator extraordinaire, what do you do in your guys' work lives?
So for a living, I sell solar panel systems for residential and commercial applications. Up here in the North Texas area, some of the rates can get pretty high.
Right.
So solar's a pretty darn good industry right now. We're lagging behind you boys in California.
Yeah, we actually
Arizona.
just got it put on like 2 months ago.
I tell you what, man, you're always going to have an electricity bill. So why not cut out that middleman, be your own power provider? So we've done hotels, gas stations, office buildings, of course, residential. We also have solar farms where we partner with an electric provider to build 0.2 megawatt solar farms. That's enough to power about 350 houses. So I've been doing that for about 3 years. Before that, I was in the chamber industry for 15 years. And Nikki can talk about what she does.
I am a personal banker at a local credit union here, DATQ Credit Union. And I do basically wherever I'm needed. My main job is to open accounts and do loans for the credit union. But when needed, I can hop behind the teller line and, do work back there that's needed, or making sure the tellers stay in balance, and just kind of operations of the credit union.
She runs the joint. She's being nice. She runs that joint.
That's so sweet.
We've got great leadership there. So.
Right on. Texas. Sorry, I missed that. We got a super shot in there. Or a super chat. Back with the PMA channel. Scott, thank you so much for the $2. Appreciate you, buddy. See here. Tom Horseman's in the chat. Welcome. How you doing, sir? Good to see you. I think we kind of caught up everybody that's in the chat. If I missed you, I'll catch you on the next way around. Appreciate you all being here for sure. All right. Let's see here. Ron Lint, I see you. Welcome. Let's talk about Mega Fred's lifetime question. We always got to ask it. I haven't seen him in there, but we'll repeat the answer, I guess. But what kind of music do you guys like to listen to? Does anybody, play any instruments, anything like that? You answer first, Phil.
Tell him, Dustin. What do you play?
Dustin's going to chime in.
I play viola, and so far I've learned how to play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. But that's it.
Nice. What kind of music do you like, Dustin?
I took piano lessons. Oh, well, go ahead. Yeah.
I like hip-hop.
Hip-hop, right on. All right, go ahead.
With me, man, I run the gamut of music. About the only thing I don't like is modern country music. So like Florida Georgia Line, all that stuff, man, that's not country. But like one of my all-time favorite artists, man, I would listen every day. I think he's a great lyricist, man. He was Tupac, right? But I mean, I'll listen to classical music. I'll listen to, you name it, man, old school country, Waylon, Willie, the Boys, you name it. So there's really not a ton of stuff I don't like listening to besides this. Who is the douche that I don't like?
Bro?
No. Who is it?
Keith Urban.
No.
Brad. Who's the country dude that hosts the show? What's his name?
He's on.
Blake Shelton.
Yes.
Blake Shelton, man. I can't stand that. All he does is rhyme fajita and margarita, and I'm telling you, man, it's for somebody. I just turned 45 on Sunday, and for me, old school country is what country's supposed to be. So that's about like the only thing I won't listen to. In fact, on our two cars, Nikki's got a couple of presets on there for country stations, and man, I don't think I've ever stayed on it unless she's in the car with me. I'll look at her, and if she shakes her head yes that she likes it, then I'll keep it on just for her. But otherwise, man, it's no modern country at all. So I'll let Nikki tell you what she likes.
I'm like Philip though. I listen to everything. I listen to a lot of the Christian, a lot of the country, the modern day, alternative music, if you will. I don't like that rap that Dustin listens to.
Yes, you do.
She
dances in the house, so don't let her lie. She's trying to be clean tonight.
But it's not my preference, I should say. But
so what you're saying is you like Justin Timberlake. You're a big fan.
Yes.
Hey, me too, man. And I've told her that's like my man crush. I know it's a reoccurring joke on here, but the dude is good looking. He can play golf. He can play basketball. He can sing. He can dance. He's got a hot ass wife. So you know what? That's my man crush, man. If I come back reincarnated, I'd be lucky to come back as JT.
I think you're getting a pin flip from the co-host. I'm just saying.
That's all right. He's all the way in Iowa. He can't hurt me from there.
All right, guys. We got a couple more people in the chat. Bubba K dropped a super shot in there. Mr. Tom Horsman just put a super chat in there. So all those add up to about $25. So here you go, guys. Cheers.
All right. Here we go again, huh?
Do it. All right, Texas Made Foods in the chat. That one burned a little bit. Dan's Outdoor Cooking, Roundhouse Ranch is in there. North Texas Barbecue Addicts is in the house.
Yo.
West Coast Cajun Cuisine. Suburban Barbecue likes gangster Christian rap, as most people should. And see there. Cooking in Dublin. Welcome. Good to see you there. Big Frog and Barbecue and Cooking. Howdy. Welcome, everybody, to the show. I appreciate you being here. Kent, did you see something run by from Booger saying that she did not get flowers on her anniversary?
I tell you what, I sent them FedEx. So if she didn't get them, she needs to contact the local FedEx office.
I put them in the mail. I don't have a tracking number, but they're on their way.
They should be. She should have them by now, I would think. But
she should have them.
Tom might have thought they were for him and kept them.
I bet Tom kept.
I bet that's what happened.
I can see it every other chat. It's her going, yeah, whatever. I call bullshit, whatever.
Right.
Oh, that's awesome. Shout out, Kent. There you go. Tom Horseman also pointed out that he did not get flowers on his year anniversary of the hot seat. So, yeah, we tend not to give flowers on the anniversary of the hot seat. So, guys, please don't expect one. I'll send you a hat, though. How about that?
I'll take it.
All right.
Yeah, go visit Cooking with CJ, man. He's got merch up. Go buy some.
Yeah.
Make him rich.
All right. Guys, if you haven't already, subscribe to our great guests. The link is down below. If anyone of the moderators want to grab it, throw it in there. Actually, the link isn't below. I had to start a whole new thing. So we are going to all adjust everything. So moderators, if you wouldn't mind, put the link into the chat in there to their channel, not to the chat. Sorry about that, guys. I'll start working on it when Kent takes over questions. Send me your address. I'll send you one when I get back from home. What? Why did I get a pimple?
I'm practicing.
Oh,
Jackass.
my bad. My bad. Let's see here.
Oh.
You see Johnny Mags. What about mine? It was Valentine's Day after all.
You know what? We screwed up and sent it to Mike instead of Mags.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
that was probably my fault. I probably got the addresses backwards.
right. Guys, I hear the typing too in the background. I don't know exactly what it is. But
That sounds like some sort of static.
Yeah.
To me, it sounds like somebody typing on a keyboard.
Yeah, me too. It's coming from Phil. It's coming from you guys, buddy. So if anyone's making any noise around there, kicking anything.
No, man, there's nothing. We're all chilling, man. I just unplugged our phone to see if maybe that would help, but no, we don't have anything going on.
All right, guys, it is what it is. It's a bit annoying, but it's the dog chewing on a bone. It is what it is. We'll get through it. Let's see here. Kent, are you ready for some questions, buddy?
Well, I suppose look at that. It's 8:30. It's break time.
It's break time.
All right.
Get in there.
Let's see. First one for you comes from Russell at Raspberry Rock. Are you a briquette fan or a lump charcoal fan in the smoker?
Let's see. Tell you the truth, I haven't used a lot of lump. Obviously, I've read a lot of good things about it. I just buy the cheap old Kingsford Blue when it's on sale and stock up. It also depends on what smoker I'm using. I don't know how many of y'all have seen our first introductory video of the arsenal of smokers and grills that I have. So usually if I'm using Big Hoss, which is my big catering smoker, I just get it started with some charcoal, and then I'm using nothing but oak with a mix of pecan typically. But if I'm using my UDS or my Weber Smoky Mountains, then I'll do blue and add chunks of oak. So I just haven't experimented too much with lump because the charcoal works so easy for me. But definitely, we'll try it out for sure. But charcoal right now is my favorite as far as a base for the fuel.
Gotcha. I can agree with that. In my kettle, I love using briquettes, but in my offset, I always use lump for a base. So I think it's, just what you get used to, what you're used to using,
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm also a tightwad. So when that, Kingsford comes on sale around all the grilling and barbecue holidays, man, I stack up. So for me, especially for those of y'all that do catering, I mean, you try to make as much as you can, buy your meats on sale, buy your fuel source on sale. These people don't understand that there's also other things involved with catering costs. I mean, pepper. If people would have to price pepper that don't do barbecue and use it heavily here like we do in Texas, man, pepper's expensive. So anything that can bring down my cost to where I can make more of a profit, I'm all in for it. But I mean, I've never had an issue with catering people to really say, okay, that's how much you've got to pay. The big thing that kind of frustrates me too is with restaurants. I mean, we've got a lot of damn good barbecue joints, obviously, here in Texas. And I'll be on forums and people just can't believe that, like prime brisket here now, if you go to a really good barbecue joint, you're paying $22, $23 a pound. And some people get mad at that because like us that can smoke it. Yeah. I can get a prime brisket all day long at Costco for about $2.99 to $3.19 a pound. But people don't take into consideration that, that $22, $23 a pound at a restaurant, those people have overhead. They have to pay their salaries. They have to pay insurance. They've got payroll. They've got operational costs. So, that $22, $23 a pound, they're not making a ton of money off of it and getting it rich. So, anything that I can do to lower my cost and then, even discount for some people that I do catering for. But it's all about, trying to maximize that profit. And I've done a lot of catering gigs, did a wedding that had 250 people. So, it's not just smaller things. We've got the ability to do some pretty large events. So anything that can help out with cost, man, I'm all in for.
Oh, most definitely. Up here, the Home Depot last January had their 20-pound bags of Weber briquettes. They had them clearanced out for $4.
I hope you bought them all.
I ended up with 20 bags, and then I have a buddy who runs a Hy-Vee store up here, and he got all the OSD Kingsford from the warehouse. And for 15 of the 16-pound bags, I paid $20 total. So,
heck yeah, man.
I actually did. I got 2 bags of Weber briquettes left, but I basically barbecued all year, 8 or 9 events for $60 in charcoal.
Man, you can't beat it, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's cheap. I know Johnny Maggs, Pit Life Barbecue in the chat. He stocked up on a bunch of it too. But so yeah, you can't go wrong with that. That's for sure. So
yeah, I mean it's not like there's anything wrong with the product. They're just trying to get rid of their inventory. So I mean, you're going to pay, twice as much for it, or 3 times as much for it. So yeah, anytime those sales come along, man, Nikki laughs because I'll load up our Ford Flex and come home with like 20, 25 bags of charcoal. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah, at this price, really.
Oh yeah, I'll if I catch it again down in Sioux City down here, I'll have them load it in the back of the truck with a forklift. I don't care.
Yep, that's the way to do it, bub.
All right. Speaking of charcoal, we got 2 more here from Russell. First one is, have you ever barbecued in the snow?
Oh, I'm answering that right now. Yeah, absolutely. Here in North Texas, we don't get a ton of snow, but man, I tell you, little history on me and my smoking endeavors. I'm the kind of person that if I'm going to do something, I want to do it hardcore and do it right. So in November of 2009, I have a childhood buddy of mine who lives in Austin, and he bought an old school water smoker, and man, he turned out a brisket that looked pretty decent. And I just started reading up on the internet about how to smoke and what to do. And for the next year, so 52 weeks, right? Out of those 52 weeks, I smoked something every weekend, 50 of those weeks. So, man, I caught the bug hardcore. It'll be 10 years next month. And I still look back. I still have the photos of the first brisket that I did because I got a old Brinkman red smoker, with the water thing at the bottom and leaks like a sieve. That was my first smoker that my uncle had at one of his properties that somebody was moving out and they didn't want to take it. Man, I cut slits in the brisket, put garlic in the brisket. I mean, just this stuff that I had read up on that I said, oh man, this is going to be fantastic. I still have those photos. The brisket came out pretty good. I got a nice smoke ring, but man, I tell you what, y'all probably all have the same kind of story that first thing you smoke, when people were telling me, man, take it easy, do chicken or do a chicken breast or do a pork chop. I'm like, no, man, this is Texas. I'm doing brisket for my first time out, but man, it was okay. It wasn't the best. And to see how far, we've come along in 10 years, it's really pretty hysterical. And so absolutely cooking the snow. I remember one of customers that I did a order for, they were having twins. Remember Craig Moen lives here in Frisco. and they were delivering twins the morning that I started at about 3 a.m. And that was like a record fall up here for snow. I think we had like 7 or 8 inches.
Mm-hmm.
And man, there I was at about 3 a.m. on the back patio firing up. I had a new Brumfels offset smoker back then. And yeah, I mean, they needed pulled pork, they needed brisket, they needed chicken. And I met them at the parking lot in Target in the snow, delivered it to them. They delivered their twins about 4 hours later. So we always get a kick out of that every year when it's their birthday, because we're like, yeah, remember when they were born and I was out smoking for y'all? So snow's not going to stop me at all. And I'm usually out in shorts, man, because I'm a big dude and I hate being hot. So man, I'm so ready for the winter months, man. It was 93 here today, and you know, swamp ass and everything like that doesn't work good with big Texas boys.
It don't work.
Swamp ass has ever been mentioned on.
No, that's a first right there. But it doesn't matter if you're Texas, Iowa, or California. If you're a big boy, swamp ass is everywhere.
Fucking
yeah, swamp ass will find you no matter where you live, man.
All right. Next one from Russell. What's the fewest pieces of charcoal you've ever cooked a burger on?
Cooked a burger on, man, probably like 6, I would say. But, you know, in Texas, we've got to use wood with everything. So, you know, like when we're doing fajitas, there'll be a little base of charcoal, but you got to have that mesquite for the fajitas. Burgers, I like a little more mellow, so I usually have live oak in my wood rack outside. I'll add a couple of splits too. Kent's laughing at something. We must have missed something.
CJ, please put Big Cat's comment on the screen.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I mean, you know, if you manage the fire correctly and depending on what you're cooking on, man, you shouldn't have to use a ton of briquettes. And then, you know, the boys know, especially Dustin, who helps me with the pits, man, as soon as that fire's done, we choke it out, you know, so that way you can recycle and use those same coals. So you got to be frugal, man.
Yep. So, all right. Pickles wants to know, you could go anywhere in the world to eat. Where are you going?
Wow. That's a good question, Pickles. And happy belated birthday, too. His birthday was last week, so happy birthday to Charlie.
Who?
Yeah, he's 62 this year.
Oh, look at day over 61.
Wow, he's my dad, basically.
Yeah.
Man, that's a really good question. I tell you what I'd like to do is, I know there's a bunch of YouTubers in the Austin area. I think that'd be pretty badass, is to get with all those YouTubers that make it down to Austin once in a while. Or I know on some of these hot seats, CJ, y'all have talked about getting together in Arizona and California. And I know Kent is trying to get down here to Texas. So I think that's what I would pick. I mean, you can base a restaurant you want, you know, on a plane or whatnot. But man, I tell you what, this community of people on here on YouTube is awesome. I haven't met any of you guys in person, but I hope that happens one day. And I think it'd be pretty cool just to have a big old YouTuber hang out somewhere and people roll in with their smokers if it's close enough, and just have a big old party all weekend and try everyone's food that we keep seeing on here. I think that would be my honest answer. I mean,
Tell me something.
Here in the Dallas area, we've got a lot of restaurants that you can choose from and whatnot. So, I mean, we could always go to that, but I think it's more about who you hang out with as opposed to the food you eat. And I know what kind of food you guys turn out, so it might sound like a weird answer, but man, that's what I'm rolling with.
No, I actually like it, but like, what in reference to a lot of people, a lot of YouTubers are in Austin, for lack of whatever. How close are you in Texas to Austin? Are you?
Austin, we're about 3.5 hours, depending if traffic's not that bad. So we're about 25 miles north of Dallas, right off of 35.
Okay.
So I mean, you know, everybody kind of people don't realize how big Texas is, you know.
Right.
If you go down from Brownsville to kind of where I was brought up in the Rio Grande Valley in Harlingen, and you go to El Paso, dude, that's 12, 13 hours all day long, and you're still in the same state. So, you know, Austin's not bad. San Antonio's about 5 hours with traffic. But, you know, then if you want to go to the Rio Grande Valley, you're talking about 8 or 9 hours easy. So Austin's not too far at all for us.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. We keep talking about going to Austin, especially with Josh and Babe. You know, me and Miss CJ, and then we're gonna go fly out this year. But schedules are hard to get worked out and timing wise. But I do believe that it will happen early next year. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, man, it would be a blast. Like I said, to meet all you guys. I mean, we try to hop on as much as we can on the hot seat. We've been busy now that, you know, Dustin's back in school and Caleb's in pre-K. So we've kind of down a bit. You know, we're still trying to do at least one video a week. But, I mean, for those of you that have kids, you know how tough it can get. And, you know, we never kind of did this to be monetized, especially when we saw how many watch hours you've got to have each year, man. That's insane. I know that, you know, once you get more subscribers than we do, that count will go up. But I tell you what, man, congrats to all of you who are monetized, because those watch hours, I mean, I think we've got 400. Now we haven't done, you know, a ton of content, but I was explaining it to Dustin the other day because I'm like, bro, you talk about getting monetized. Man, 4,000 watch hours is a lot of time.
I'm with you, but I'm telling you unless you have a video or two that really gets, you know, hits viral, whatever, the best way to get those hours in is to go live. It's 100%.
We've done 2 lives. Thought about doing more, but I think the big thing for me, you know, I don't want to go live when I know like he goes live and when other people go live. So, you know, we're probably going to have to figure that out. Maybe start rolling on some Saturday mornings. I mean, the first live that we did, man, I was really impressed with how many people hopped on. I know Kent was on there. We had a lot of people for our little channel. And, yeah, you know, you can see your hours really go up by then. But I don't want to go live, you know, just to go live.
No. You got to bring something to the table on that one. But
there's not a lot of people on here that are on the hot seat that go live just to go live. You know, other people that I've subscribed to, it's like, you know, every other day. And I'm like, no, man, I can't do that. So, we're planning on going live more here in the near future, especially since it's going to start to hopefully get a little cooler up here to where we can actually sit and chill outside and maybe have Big Hoss in the background. So I feel you. But, you know, this whole thing started because Caleb watches this dude named Blippi. Have y'all heard of Blippi?
No.
All right. Blippi.
God bless you.
Oh, yeah. Blippi is annoying AF, but I think he's like the second or third highest YouTube as far as money wise goes last year. I think he made like 21 million. And this dude is skinny, has a bow tie, has glasses, and he goes to all these fire stations and fire departments and he says, "Hey kids, come and talk with me and come and count." And oh my God, but Caleb loves it. And so Dustin, you know, said, "Dad, you know how many subscribers he has?" And I was like, "How many?" You know, I was thinking a couple 100,000. How many did he have?
About 18 million.
Blippi has like 18 million subscribers.
Christ.
And some of his videos, man, are 8-9 million. And don't even get me started with Ryan Toys Review.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's like 11 now. He was the top grossing YouTube star last year at 23 million. He's got his own line of toys now and whatnot. And that's another one that Caleb just looks at. And all this dude has done since he's like 8 is just sit there and unwrap toys and play with them, and their parents do a play-by-play. And that dude made 23 million last year. So that's how this whole channel started. I told Dustin, I'm like, dude, you're 11. Make us a video. Let's go viral. And of course, you know, I was just kidding about it, but it's just amazing what these kids will watch now, you know, 4 or 5-year-olds. So yeah, we didn't start this. We didn't start this with dreams of, you know, being Blippi or Ryan's Toy Reviews. We just wanted to have fun with it. And that's why it's Cooking with CAD, because as you guys know, I always try to incorporate Caleb and Dustin in as far as whether he's filming it or last week. And Nikki's birthday was last Saturday. And they rolled on a video of cooking breakfast for us in bed. We had no clue about it, man. If y'all haven't seen it, it's like 11 minutes. Caleb filmed the entire thing. Dustin did the commentary. He did the editing, and dude, it's a hoot. But I mean, that's what's fun for us, is that it brings us together as a family. I love cooking, They love eating my food. So we just thought, you know what, if we're going to do something, my family had said, why don't you do just barbecue and whatnot? And I'm like, no, man, because I do other things, kind of like you, CJ, with all the different, appliances that you have. I didn't want to do strictly barbecue. So we're doing a lot of keto now because I've got a milestone that I'm trying to hit. I need to lose about 30 more pounds. So it's just been a ton of fun. And I mean, we really can't believe that we actually hit that first milestone of 500 subscribers. We really didn't start pushing content out, I think, until April. So, I mean, for that, time period, I mean, it's pretty cool to be over, 500 people and to think that people actually watch our videos and would actually hop on with us tonight. So we appreciate you guys letting, one of the smaller channels hop on with you, man. It's been a blast so far.
Right on, right on. Hey, buddy, there's, and this is for anybody who will watch this or check this out, is there's no sub count to be on here. So we always allude to Kent, his first time on, he had 2 subscribers. So,
and look at him now, over 1K.
Look at him now. What's up, YouTube peeps and barbecue freaks? James from Aim 'em and Claim 'em is in the house. Welcome, James.
There's another Austinite right there representing Texas.
Paulie Q is in the house. How you doing, Paulie? Bottle Cap Barbecue showed up. I saw King Kielbasa too. And Simple Men's Barbecue, Jason's in there. Welcome, Grill Sergeant. Andrew, how you doing, buddy? Let's see, I think it catches everybody up. All right.
You forgot Dan's Outdoor Cooking.
Did I forget that? I wrote it down. Dan's Outdoor Cooking. How you doing, Dan? Welcome, brother. All right. King, I think we kind of tangented off there. Did you have more questions for him?
Yeah, I do, actually.
Okay.
So if you're done, I'll continue with my job.
Please.
Oh, thank you.
Flip him the pen, CJ.
Megan Fox.
He can't do that.
I'm not allowed.
You haven't trademarked.
We have legal here.
Yeah. So, all right. Jared, Frack Daddy Barbecue wants to know, what is your dream smoker?
Man, I tell you what, you're in Texas, you got to have a Moberg. The only thing is, the one that I want would be so damn big that I don't think I'd be able to treat it accordingly. There's another pit maker here in Texas, Jamie Greer, Jambo Pits. Man, he makes a hell of a pit.
Yes.
They're very pricey for the model that I want, but I think just because of scale, since I'm not, full-fledged operational barbecue joint right now, I'd probably roll with a Jambo. I mean, those things can get up to 15, 17 grand because they go all out with the paint and whatnot. But I've actually had opportunities to cook on some. And I tell you what, man, you talk about pegging that thermometer at 250, that thing will stay at 250 all day long. Doesn't use a lot of fuel. They're just beautiful. He's about 35 minutes from here. I've actually visited and been able to look at the pits themselves, and there's a lot of knockoffs. I tell you what, another one too, if I can add another one, is Pit Maker down in the Houston area. Man, those are some awesome pits as well. But yeah, I would say probably a Jambo at this point, because it's not too terribly huge. But if one day I make it big and decide to do barbecue one day, you've got to go with a Moberg. But good Lord, I don't know if y'all have heard pricing for the big ones, man. It's insane. And their waiting list right now is, I think it's up to a year already. I mean, everybody that's doing a big scale barbecue joint here in Texas seems to go with Mobergs right now because they're just the pit to have right now.
Well, you mentioned, what's the other one you mentioned?
Pit Maker in Houston.
Pit Maker. There you go. That's what Chef Johnny cooks on in his barbecue trailer. He's got 2 vaults. So, but yeah, them Jambos are pretty damn sharp looking. They're nice.
They're nice. You know what?
Isn't that what Malcolm Reed did on his channel? Didn't he get a Jambo?
Who?
He might have. I haven't been on there. I'm trying to catch up on, our community.
Yeah, for sure.
The only thing about those Jambos, man, is they're so pretty that I'd be afraid to get anything on it and keep it clean. It's like Joe from Smokin' Joe's with that new Yoder, man. He'll have 200 cooks on it, and that thing, that Frontiersman, man, that if you've has like 200 cooks on it, you're going to be able to pull up to it, look at it in person, and swear it just came off the showroom floor, because that dude is so meticulous with his pits. But yeah, I'd be afraid to have one of those and get it dirty and try to keep it clean. But man, there's some really good pit makers out there. But I'm really happy with my big one right now, Big Hoss. So we'll keep on using that for big gigs.
There you go. All right. Pickles barbecue. One thing you won't cook or that you don't like to cook. What is it?
That's a good question, Pickles. You know, there's really nothing that I don't mind cooking or smoking. I guess the only thing I don't enjoy too much is, you know, Big Hoss can hold probably about 25 or 30 briskets. And I've had that thing pretty close to fully loaded. Yeah, you remember that? I was unemployed for about 6 months, about 3 years ago. And to supplement my income, man, I was running Big Hoss like every weekend. And we even made a trip down to, hey, stop it. We even made a trip down to San Antonio for Thanksgiving, and then went down to South Padre Island because my sister had a little place out there that we could stay at. And I just went on Facebook and said, okay, all the people that I grew up with that are still in Austin, San Antonio, and the Harlingen area, I'm coming down. Y'all always say, oh my God, your barbecue looks so good. If you ever come down, I'll buy some. So I just started posting on Facebook, and we took down a little over 300 pounds of smoked meats. We did briskets, we did chicken, we did pork loins, we did atomic buffalo turds. And we had stops in Round Rock. We had stops in San Antonio. We had stops in Harlingen and Brownsville on the island. So getting back to Pickle's question, it's the briskets and trimming it, man. The prep work for briskets, it's just not a lot of fun. Hopefully Dustin will pick that up one day and do all my trimmings. But when you're having to trim, 30 briskets and you want them all to kind of be the same, aerodynamically, if you will, and there's a lot that goes into it. And I'm not the one to cut corners. So I would say I love smoking briskets because of the end product. But the one really negative thing about it is that prep work and getting them all trimmed. And, Aaron Franklin is a savant when it comes to trimming those things. But now he's got so much help that, when he first started out in that little trailer that he had before he had a brick and mortar, man, he was doing everything by himself. I think his brisket personally and his barbecue was better then because it's not, such large scale now. But to get back to the thing that I don't look forward to the most is trimming up briskets, especially if there's a lot of them to do.
Russell, you're killing me, dude.
Nice.
All right. Let's see. Smokin' Joe's Pit Barbecue wants to know, what's your favorite auto parts store?
What's my what?
Favorite auto parts store?
O'Reilly's.
Yeah. All right. Eric at Roundhouse Ranch wants to know, are you going to be at Tough Like Jack?
No.
You know what? That's next weekend. I'm going to have to look into it. I don't know if Nikki's working next Saturday or not. That'll depend on a lot. But we might, if we aren't competing, we'll probably go out there and help. Dustin actually did the mud run probably 3 years ago now for Tough Like Jack, and that's before I knew Kenneth Cunningham that runs NTBA. And that does a lot of things for Tough Like Jack. So if we can make it, we certainly will. I just don't know if we're going to be cooking at it.
All right. How many more you want me to do, CJ?
Let me acknowledge a couple people real quick. Louis Calamides is in the house. What's up? And Papa C dropped the $9.99 super chat in there. So thank you, Papa C. We saw it, but we didn't interrupt our guests. So appreciate it. Guys, the super shot price is $25 tonight. And
we need another shot, man. Let's go.
Philip has a bottle of Maker's Mark ready to take straight to the head for all those that want to drop a chat in there. I love it. All right, kid. Go ahead and ask a couple more. My questions are not as good as Russell's for sure.
Well,
Yeah, I saw some of Russell's.
I'm picking and choosing the ones that I'm going to put on here because otherwise it would be next questions from Russell, Pickles, Russell, Joe, Russell, Pickles. You know, it's like screw that. All right. Speaking of Russell, if you had to recreate a McDonald's burger, which one would it be?
Man, probably the Big Mac, because the Big Mac isn't nearly as big as it used to be, man. I try not to eat a lot of that stuff now because of the keto that I'm trying to do, but probably that Big Mac, you know, it's just iconic. I never was a fan of the McRib, so I'm sorry if people were looking for McRib as the answer, but if I did do a McRib, it'd be with real ribs and not whatever crap that is they put in at McDonald's for their McRibs. But I'd have to go with an old classic, man, and do a Big Mac, but I mean, make it big. And I'd probably do what I like to do with my burgers is actually stuff and smoke them. So that way you've got all the creamy goodness in the inside. And I'd probably do it that way. I'd probably do three patties instead of the 2. And that might be maybe something we can look at doing, Dustin.
Yeah.
So I'd say the Big Mac.
Well, there is, I won't say the name of the restaurant, but they have a MC rib sandwich. And there was actually one that they found, you know, it's basically preformed, pressed, freeze-dried meat. And they had a little extra protein in it in the form of Mickey and Minnie.
Hey, you know what, man? That's what I've always told Nikki is that I don't care what it is. If you put it in front of me, I'm going to take at least one bite of it. We have that rule with the boys where there's a one bite policy with everything.
Yep.
So, man, I'm good with whatever you put in front of me. I don't care if it's rat or horse or whatever the case may be, man. If it tastes good, man, you see Nikki's face, but like she doesn't like eating cow tongue, man. I love lengua. She doesn't like beef cheeks or barbacoa. I can go all day long on that. So, hey, more protein, the better. No carbs, no boobies.
So, creamy goodness has been hashtagged already. I'm sure the more protein, the better. It will be the next hashtag. Way to see the chat.
All right. Speaking of your keto, Pickles and Jason from Simple Man's Barbecue kind of asked the same question. Why did you pick keto? How long have you been on it? And how's it working for you?
We'll give y'all a little backstory. At my heaviest, I was right at 430 pounds. Dustin, pick it up.
Whoa.
Too heavy for the camera.
All right. Oh, Dustin.
Oh, yeah. Blame it on the kid. We know it was you, Phil.
Where is it, Dustin? Where is it?
Click here, Safari.
This? Oh, hold on, guys.
Wait for it.
All right. So, yeah, Dustin came over here to sit with us and dropped it on her. So, anyway, back to keto. I was a little over 430 pounds at my heaviest. Right now, I'm at about 278-ish. I'm trying to get down to 250.
Wow, that's awesome.
Keto. Yeah, keto, I need to be more strict about it. I'm what you would call like a lazy keto guy. Been doing it probably for about a year now, and I've been able to drop probably another 25 pounds through keto. And I think with keto, man, a lot of people think it's boring and that you have to eat the same stuff every day. And there is tons of stuff that you can do with keto. You can do, waffles are the rage now, where it's a cheese waffle that all it is egg and a cheese mixed together. You can flavor it so many ways. And with keto, I mean, the main thing you really have to look for is, as little sugars as possible, as little of carbs as possible. And once you understand that, man, there are so many things you can eat, so many recipes you can come up with. I love pork rinds, so I've got, bags of pork rinds at work. I've got bags here at the house. I was really missing a hot dog in the actual bun about a month and a half ago. And we made keto hot dog buns, and that that hot dog was awesome. Remember?
Yeah.
So, and the other cool thing about keto is that Dustin plays football. He's 11 years old in the 6th grade. He's wanting to get a little faster, and he started to incorporate a lot of the keto, into what we're doing. So, even with athletes, when you're drinking, Gatorade at 11 years old, man, those things are laced with sugar and whatnot. And people just don't realize, man, if you start reading labels, you will be absolutely blown away at what we're putting in our bodies. I used to love Dr. Pepper and Big Red. I mean, here in Texas, you've got to have Big Red when you're eating barbacoa tacos. But one can of Dr. Pepper or Big Red has like 40 grams of carbs. And to be in ketosis, you really need to try to stay under 25 carbs a day. So, dude, if you have one 12-ounce soft drink, you've blown that for the entire day and a half. So, we do a ton of cool things with it. We're starting to do a lot of videos, keto, because, man, it's ridiculously popular right now. And, I mean, I think it's a good, clean way of eating. Of course, more fish and more chicken that you can do, the better. I know that Jason from Simple Mans has started to try it out because, we like each other's channel and always comment on our videos. I know he kind of struggled with it, but man, Jason, if you stick with it, and like I've told you before, if you have any questions, let me know, because I've lost over 150, not all on keto, of course, but the other part of it is we just know what we shouldn't be putting in our pie holes, but a lot of it is up here, man. It's all mental, and once you get close to a personal milestone like I'm trying to get to, then you really kind of dial in and you look at something and say, you know what, these calories really aren't worth it. The sugars aren't worth it. The carbs aren't worth it. Me having a belly, keto's really good because it's a really good way to, cut that belly down and have it with protein and whatnot. So if anybody's thinking about, joining the keto train, to lose some weight, and if y'all have any questions, just let me know, because I think it's a great way to eat, man. It's nice and clean.
Right on, right on. Hey, Lois, how you doing? Welcome. All right. Well, Kent, a couple more, or you want to take a break?
You go ahead. I'm going to go back through the chat and make sure I ignored most of Russell's questions.
Fair enough.
So,
and let Russell know that my glasses, this is the lens that I'd be able to start the fire with to light the fire and light the charcoal. So I'll have to experiment. I'll have to experiment on that one, and if it works, I'll do a video and tag him.
That's awesome. All right, cool. We kind of went through, why you got started on YouTube. You haven't had your channel very long, but do you have an end result that you're trying to get? I know you say you weren't trying to get like PewDiePie numbers or whatever, but is there a goal for you guys?
I mean, I think it would be cool to, have 1,000 subscribers. It seems like it'll take a while to get there, which we're totally cool with. The end result, I mean, I think it'd be cool to be a bigger channel and to have people, more people watch your content. But I mean, I can't tell you how cool it is when, like T-Roy was on here earlier and people like that, Meet Cranium, some of these Hungry Hussy, some of these people that, have some really big pages. And I can't tell you how good a feeling it is when they actually comment on your video, to think that they took time to watch, my video, man. And, I'm not doing anything earth shattering. So the end result, I mean, if we stay at a little over 500 like we are right now and people still enjoy, what we're doing, there's really not an end game. We really didn't start this to say, hey, let's get monetized. Then of course I looked at it when Dustin started telling me how much people can make, but to make that kind of money and to have it like as a job itself, I will never do that. But I mean, we're having a ton of fun along the way, aren't we? And this is the reason right here is these two. And, as long as they like it and want to continue to do it, Caleb will come home from preschool and say, hey, Dad, can we do a video tonight? And, that's what makes it a ton of fun, is that when he wants to do it, when he wants to be in it. Dustin loves filming it and editing it. So we really don't have an end game plan right now, but who knows, if we keep growing and we make a little money one day, fine. If not, man, no big deal at all. I also think Especially, I know this touches an accord with you, CJ, with what your son went through. Man, it's really cool to say that the world that we live in now, that this can kind of be a legacy, if you will. Kent, you the same way with your kids, man. I would love to have videos of my dad and my mom to, look back on, especially, when they die, because we all know that's going to happen. So I think it might be cool, even, when I'm gone, that hopefully, YouTube will still be up and running, and Cooking with CAD will still be there. And if my boys are feeling like they want to see dad, they can hop on and see all of us. And I also think it's going to be pretty cool. Dustin is 11, so he's only got like 7 years left with us in the house, which is kind of sad and depressing. But hopefully he'll want to continue to do it until he graduates and then decides to do whatever he wants to do. Because, man, I think it's going to be a blast then to look at the first stuff we did all the way to where he's 18 and Caleb will be 14 at that time. So we're just having a ton of fun with it. And we can't thank you and Ken enough for letting us jump on here, man. When Ken had asked about us being on the hot seat, that's where it happened, Ken. You were watching us on that first live that we did. And Dustin saw that come across as a comment when Ken said, "Hey, do you guys want to be on the hot seat?" And Dustin looked at me like, and I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Ken says that they want us on the hot seat." We're like, "What?" So we can't thank you guys enough, because like I said, it's really cool to be on with you guys, especially since we don't have a ton of content. We don't have a ton of followers. So for you guys to say, "Yeah, man, let's hop on." I mean, we've been waiting for this night forever. And then tonight when we were having the difficulties, I'm like, man, of all nights, it had to be tonight. So, man, we can't thank you guys enough. And it's been a blast so far.
Right on. Hey, dude, it's not a deal. Actually, we've gone over an hour so far. You guys are still going strong, right? Still good?
Yeah, man. I'm here. The boys are here. Nikki's doing something in the kitchen, so she would love to get more than an hour from me, but that's not going to happen.
All right, cool. One question for Dustin. What do you like better? Tackling the quarterback or filming the cooks?
I like filming the cooks better.
Oh.
Not as
I don't know.
He said it's not as
There's
hot.
a real right answer to that one.
He said it's not as hot, but I tell you what, we're in that Blackstone griddle, man. Y'all know that thing gets ridiculously hot. And for those of you that are trying to lose weight, man, just go turn on your Blackstone. If you got a 36-inch, fire all 4 of them up. You will lose weight, because we film all of our Blackstones in the garage and here in Texas in the summer.
Ooh.
Dude, I am soaked when I get done with those films. So, yeah, he's loving doing this, man. I tell you, I tell you what, I don't think our production value is great, but I tell you what, man, he does everything. We had some aha moments here about a month and a half ago to where I think our production quality has improved, and we do everything with an iPhone. So for a lot of people that are out there thinking I've got to have this equipment and that equipment and whatnot, dude, we use Movie Maker, iPhone, iMovie, and man, I tell you what, it's good enough for us right now. Eventually, maybe, I'd like to get a camera and maybe a lavalier. Like I know CJ, you've got a mic that might help with some issues. Yeah, he wants a MacBook, but he's not getting a MacBook.
Well, I'll tell you what, right now, the mic makes a difference for sure. But I'm filming on my iPhone right now too, and I still use iMovie. I had a camera, it took a crap on me, and the phones shoot in 1080p. Like, you're getting high def. The only thing I was thinking about getting another camera, but I'm up for a new iPhone. I got the upgrade thing. I might get the one with the 14 different cameras on it and use that one. So
yeah. I mean, these cameras are amazing, man. And I always tell Nikki, I'm like, thank God that the world doesn't have to depend on somebody like me to come up with all these things. Because if my brain was responsible for technology and whatnot, dude, we wouldn't even have flip phones yet, man. So I hear you.
I love it. All right. I see we got Mega Fred Zeppelin's in the house. Mega Fred, what up? And then Chef Johnny, I see people are saying prayers for you. I didn't see exactly why, but go ahead, Kent.
He was late getting here. His uncle passed away. And Chef is actually doing the service for his uncle tomorrow.
Oh wow!
Oh man.
Rough, man. Well, sorry, Chef. You know that's always rough, brother. Everybody sends their love and prayers for you, buddy.
Yeah, our condolences as well. Another nice Texas pitmaster.
Definitely. All right, let's see here. Well, we just talked about what you film with. You've been doing it for a little while now, getting comfortable, getting your feet wet. What advice would you guys give a brand new YouTuber just starting out?
You know, I think it depends on YouTube goes. If you're trying to really get your subscriber count up, you know, I've heard that you want to do probably at least 2 videos a day. A day or a week? Yeah, Nikki back there, she always catches me. So I would say just keep it simple at the beginning, and do things that you think people are going to want to replicate. That's why I like doing more than just barbecue, because I know I've got a lot of subscribers that are personal friends that don't have a smoker at all, whether it's a, you know, Smoky Mountain or whatever the case may be. So I've had a lot of friends that say, hey man, I just want to make a simple meal for my family, and can you help me with that? So I would say keep it simple at the beginning. I know it kind of sounds generic, but I would really go with that and just, you know, focus on the details on how to tell a story visually. And I think that'll enable the channel to grow and have better content. But keeping it simple at the beginning, that's really what we aimed at doing. And I tell you what, our first video that we ever put up, I'm really proud of that one because it's got like 1,200 views, which for us is a ton of views. And Dustin filmed the entire thing, and we did it in one take. And it was, 16 minutes, I think? And it was basically just walking in our backyard, stopping and looking at every grill, every smoker, everything that we had. And Dustin said, Dad, I want to do a video before we go to the football game. And I said, if we're going to do it, it's got to be in one take. And I tell you what, man, there are no bloopers or anything. He filmed the entire 16 minutes. I talked the entire 16 minutes, which isn't hard for me to do. But, yeah, man, we were really pleased with that. And like I said, that one is still our most watched video. The first one we ever put out, over 1,200 views, which is a ton for us. So we were just keeping it simple. He held the iPhone. He filmed everything. Thank goodness it caught the whole thing, because usually he has an issue with charging his phone. So that would be my advice, is just to keep it simple at the beginning, and then just look at a lot of people that are on this hot seat every week. Go look at what they're doing, and, you know, just grab bits and pieces from people, because there's so many different ways you can spin the video. There's different editing techniques you can do. But right off the bat, what's up, Nikki? I'd say just keep it simple.
Right on. I love it. All right. I've been seeing tons of questions roll by. Or you want to take some of these? Because I'm gonna cross a few of these that we normally ask off, just because there's so many questions. So if you want to go ahead and get going, knock yourself out, bud.
What if I don't?
Just flip the pen.
All right. Mr. Mega Fred Zeppelin wants to hear you say "Toy boat" 5 times real fast since he's here.
You
gotta do
say
it.
what 5 times real fast?
Toy boat.
Toy boat, toy boy, toy boy, toy boy, toy boy, toy boy.
Close enough.
Close enough.
All right. Let's see. All right. Pickles Barbecue wants to know, do you make your own sauces and rubs? And if not, what are your favorite store-bought?
You know, I don't, simply because there's so many good choices out there that people have perfected, and they're cheap AF. Sauce here in Texas, you really don't need sauce if your barbecue is good enough. There's always, you know, it's always nice to have a little thing of sauce on the side if you want to, but my family knows that when they come over that they've got to bring their own sauce, seriously. But I tell you what, before I really got into barbecue, one of my favorite sauces was Sweet Baby Ray's. I think they've got a really good line of barbecue sauce. As far as rubs go, man, I tell you what, my favorite thing to do, especially here in Texas, since we like, you know, pepper, is just 2 parts pepper, 1 part salt. And then I also like to mix in a little Tony Chachere's Original Creole Seasoning, because I like a little bit of heat. I also think it helps with with the coloring as far as things, especially like ribs, when you get that mahogany kind of color in there. So, man, I'm kind of boring. I don't have really a go-to rub or sauce. I've made sauces before and rubs before, but man, I'm one of those who is like, you know, if the wheel's been perfected, why try to reinvent it? So that's kind of my line of thought with rubs and sauces.
Well, there's another guy from Texas that said the same thing, and I think he's done pretty good over the years, especially for his age. A guy by the name of Johnny Trigg. He said the exact same thing. They've already done the research, everything, you know, to get the quantities right of each ingredient. Why would you mess with it?
Yeah, Johnny Triggs lives about 45 miles south of us. Met him a couple of times, dude. He is so cool to be around. And I remember when I first started really digging ribs is, you know, I would use his recipe with the brown sugar and the Parquet squeeze bottle and whatnot. And man, I tell you what, it might sound weird, but if you've never tried ribs that way, they come out damn good, man. He's a legend here in Texas for sure.
We do that all the time up here because, you know, up here it's more Kansas City style barbecue, so it's a little sweeter. So yeah, it's the honey, the brown sugar, and the Parquet, you know, the magic blue bottle. So
it's funny that I do that here in California because Kent, you know, one of the first couple times I was using the kettle for my ribs, I called him and he's like, "Get the blue shit, get your honey, the brown sugar," and I love that stuff. And I would never think to buy the Parquet stuff, you know, normally, you know.
Yeah. So the first time Kent told you that about the blue squeeze bottle, did you think like all the time he was pulling your leg, or did you really take him seriously?
No, you know, I had watched enough with like Barbecue Pit Master or whatever on freaking TV, but it still seemed a bit odd to me because it's, you know, I haven't had margarine since I was, you know, Dustin's age. And then I'm buying this crap. Mrs. CJ is like, "What the hell are you buying?"
Yeah, that margarine's still in you, buddy.
Oh, seriously. That
it shows, buddy. It shows.
My family used to get the Country Crock because that was the built-in Tupperware too. You know.
Oh yeah.
Finish it up. You know.
Yeah, and then you'd get pissed because you'd have 3 or 4 of those in the fridge, and damn it, if the last one wasn't the one that had butter, and you were hoping it was something else.
Yep.
All right. Ron Went had a question, and since we're on the rub topic here, he wants to know: have you ever tried Heaven-Made products, and how do you like them?
I tell you what, that's one that I was going to mention. I actually have a bottle, I think, of the all-purpose. I think I won it on one of the hot seats, and I tell you what, that is a damn good product.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
It's incredible.
Yes. I don't know though. Kent, does he have it? He doesn't have it commercially down here in Texas, does he?
You can order it straight from Mike and Kim's website.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I mean,
that stuff is really solid, and I know you like to use it. I've seen it in your videos.
Yeah, I've used a lot of different rubs. I have some from Scott at Smoked Midwest. He's originally from Lincoln, but he now lives in Arizona. Of course, Heaven-Made products. What's the other one? Victory Lane.
Oh yeah,
Victory Lane. Yeah, Joe pushes that a lot, and I'm very interested in that. And I tell you what, one other sauce that I forgot that was ridiculously good is Phil and Florence. Man, if you haven't had his sauce, it's fantastic.
He sent me some of that, and actually, it's right back over here. It's outside. It's in the RV right now because I hosted a competition last weekend, and yeah. I tell you what, I went through and tried some of the ribs and then put a little of that on, and that gave it an extra little zip. And Phil's sauce is very, very good.
Yeah, it's good on eggs too, man. That stuff goes good on just about anything.
No. I can't put it on eggs. That's where the sriracha goes.
You know what? Uncle Steve is in the chat too. Uncle Steve Shake. I'm gonna send you a hat, Phil. and I'll throw a couple. He sent some for a bunch of extra for me. I'll send a couple bottles your way.
Yeah, and you know what? I've heard a
it's
lot
good
about
stuff.
him. I don't know if Frack Daddy, if Jared is still here, but I know he uses it. And then Simple Men's Jason, he's really praising that the Uncle Steve's, right? Uncle Steve's, man. He's really promoting that as well. So yeah, it's stuff that I've got to look into. So like I said, I'm willing to try it out, especially if it's got, you know, the pepper. You got to have the pepper here in Texas. So yeah, man, I'd love to try some of that.
Yeah.
Right on. And then is Joe still in the chat? We were talking about Victory Lane.
I haven't seen Joe in the chat for a little bit, but
yeah, he's got that jalapeno one that he
that jalapeno garlic all-purpose.
Oh my god,
that stuff is pretty damn good. Oh, there he is.
Is it?
I'm
gonna have to buy some of that.
We were trying to. I wanted to, work out a sponsorship deal for the hot seat with Smoking Joe's Pit Barbecue and Victory Lane and Yoder and all that. But Joe thinks he has pull, but don't listen to that guy. He doesn't have pull for anything.
I noticed that he just commented.
To us, so.
Yeah, I saw he just commented, and I just wanted to say thanks to Joe because Joe was one of the big inspirations for us actually pulling the trigger on doing our own channel. For some reason, he was one of the first videos that I watched as far as, doing barbecue. And I tell you what, and CJ, it's like you and Kent, and I know you know this with Joe. And I had questions that I would send him on Instagram before we really knew each other. And he answered every single one of them. I felt like I really didn't want to bother him, but he's like, man, anytime you need to ask me a question or if you need help with something. And that's what's really cool about this community is that I haven't met one person that is like, no, I'm not going to help you out or help you do things or whatnot. And it really starts with Joe, like I said, was my first really exposure to doing stuff on here. And man, I can't thank him enough because he's been really helpful, especially at the beginning. So
right on.
Kudos to Joe.
Yeah, I believe he's the one that introduced us all to you guys too. I don't remember. I don't remember if that was it or not, but yeah, guys. And the good thing is all these people were mentioning with the rubs and all that stuff, Victory Lane, Heaven Maids, Uncle Steve's Shake, right rub, from Dan Wright.
Yeah.
All that.
Sweet Smoky Joe.
Sweet Smoky Joe. Kent's personal rub that he's sent a few of us. It's all awesome. It's all great. We love every bit of it. There's never been anything, we'll never put anything on our channel that like this sucks, but they send it to me, I gotta give it away, right? No, we everybody's putting out great products. There's a lot of peppers there. Holy crap.
That's a 2.5 gallon freezer bag.
Dude. That's a lot of pepper right there, son.
Yeah, Dan Wright is another one. He's very active on North Texas Barbecue Addicts, and I think it's what is it, peach mango sauce, I think that he does that everybody raves about. So
peach
there's definitely some stuff I want to try down the road.
Yeah. Let's see here. Dad Incredible. Todd's in the house. Todd, I think I saw you rolling by earlier, but sorry I didn't shout you out. Welcome, brother. All right. Kent, you got camera. You have more questions, right?
Yep.
All right, knock them out, buddy.
Oh, okay. Andrew, Grill Sergeant, wants to know, Phil, of your barbecue, which one is the one the kids enjoy the most?
Kids?
Dustin, which one do you like the best?
I like pulled pork or tenderloin.
Pulled pork or tenderloin, but he also loves picanha, which I'm surprised you didn't say.
Well, that's not smoked.
It's not smoked, but
what's your favorite? My favorite is probably the carnitas.
He loves carnitas that I make. So it'll start off with a bone-in pork shoulder, smoke it just like you would for pulled pork, and then we'll do a little magic with it in the crock pot. He loves the street carnita tacos that I make out of that. Caleb?
Tell him, what's your favorite? My favorite is the steak.
Is the steak? His favorite is the steak. This boy can polish off any sort of steak. I'd say smoked probably, though, with the entire family. It's probably got to be pork loin because it's ridiculously easy to do. Thing with pork loin is that I pull mine right when they hit about 132, because once you overcook pork loin, it's like shoe leather.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to do. I usually, like Kent, I just watched that video today of that big pork loin you did. I usually butterfly mine basically right down the middle, cut them in halves. He's shaking. Man, that's how we do ours, and it's quicker, especially when I don't have time. Look at the pen flip. So that's how we like it. And I tell you what, I pull it at 132, and everybody raves about it, and it's ridiculously easy to do. Is that the thumbs down? Are you going to use the other finger?
No, I tell you what, the temperature you pull that loin at is perfect. Everybody is so scared, and half the country still thinks that pork loin has to go to 165 degrees.
No.
If you pull it 130 to 132, put it in a dry cooler, wrapped, that thing's going to carry over to right at 140. And there's plenty of people out there that will tell you a little bit of pink in the center of a pork loin, there's no problem with that. It's not the way, these hogs aren't the way they were 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And the two worst things you can do to pork: under season and overcook. Plain and simple.
Absolutely. Yep, I agree. I usually pull them at about 128, but sometimes Nikki says, I go a little bit further. So
I typically 130. It hits, it's off.
It's done. Absolutely. Quick and easy, just like me.
So, all right. Bottle cap barbecue. You talked about catering earlier, Phil. When you are catering multiple meats, do you suggest portion sizes to your customer, or do you just do a certain amount of ounces per person, no matter how many meats you're cooking?
For me, it all really depends on what type of event I'm catering. Usually if I do, large things like a 250 person wedding, like the last big thing I've done, it was a buffet where they wanted different meats. So then I just meet with the people, figure out how many they think they're going to have, base it off of, catering. There are tons of catering tools on, you search Google and you can have catering formulas come to you really quickly. So I think it really all depends on who you're doing it for and what type of event it is. If you go something with a smaller, you probably want to do more of maybe a plated meal, which we can do because we make sides as well. But you really kind of have to get the feel for it just, with visiting with whoever the client is, finding out what they want, finding out if they have a particular menu. And then my favorite thing is to actually do it on site. So like that last big wedding that I did, I actually went to the facility where they were getting married. They let me stay overnight. I had Big Hoss there, and I ran the smoker the entire night. I think the hardest thing for catering, you going to bed, Bubba? I love you. All right, Caleb's out, and he's not very happy about it. So,
bye, Caleb.
So yeah, it's a ton of fun when you can do catering on site from start to finish. That's I think it's really cool to me. Instead of, are you gonna wave? Can you say bye? Say bye, guys.
Bye, Bubba.
So, man, if you can do catering on site, I think that's the best way to do it, especially if you have a couple of buddies that come and hang out with you and drink whatever y'all want to drink around the pit and just keep that thing lit all night long. So, I think it just gets back to, who you're catering for and what the event is itself. But, I've even done stuff where it's hot dogs and hamburgers, which is ridiculously easy to do, but it really all depends on who you're doing it for and what they want.
Okay, you mentioned sides, and I had this question wrote down earlier and crossed it off thinking I asked it, but I didn't, and it's from Pickles. And it's what are your favorite sides to prepare with barbecue, either at home or for catering?
Pit beans.
Yeah, Dustin hit one of our favorites, pit beans. I love to do pit beans, and I think the key with what we do with ours is we put them under whatever protein we're smoking, typically a brisket, and let that brisket, fat render off the brisket down into the pit beans. We like ours a little sweet and a little heat as far as our pit beans go. So we have ketchup, brown sugar, we've got pineapple, we've got jalapenos, onions. Whenever the family gets together, man, that's like their most asked side. And then coleslaw, and this might sound weird, but KFC is like one of the best coleslaws to me. I like it a little sweeter, and I like it when it's really diced finely. And we make a really good coleslaw that is very comparable to KFC. And then in Texas, man, you've got to have potato salad. So we always do potato salad, coleslaw, pit beans. And then one of our up-and-coming favorite sides, and it's keto-friendly and ridiculously good, is mac and cheese using cauliflower as your base. I know it might sound like that's going to taste like crap, but, man, we have got the recipe dialed in. We use ground-up pork rinds for the topping on top instead of using like panko breadcrumbs. And then, yeah, of course, bacon. So bacon, mac and cheese, the pit beans, the coleslaw, and potato salad are our 4 go-tos.
All right. Shit, you said something a little bit ago. Oh, with your pit beans. I'm actually, CJ and I were talking ahead of time. I'm doing 16 racks of ribs for a Iowa-Michigan football game on Saturday. And I'm going to have a big pan, 3 number 10 cans of beans with onions, peppers, bacon, the rib tips, everything in it, and that's going to sit on my big cooker, my whole hog cooker, right underneath the ribs while they're cooking. So,
dude, that's going to be fantastic. And we always use Bush's baked beans, the ones with the brown sugar and bacon, as our base.
Oh yeah.
So I cut corners that way. But like I said, when you find a rub or a sauce or beans like that, we use that as our base, and then build the flavors and layers into it. And I know somebody had commented that pit beans aren't keto friendly, but when it's catering, I don't care if it's keto friendly, if it's going to pay me. So, yeah. And, that's another thing getting back to keto is that it's just like everything else, man. You've got to have stuff in moderation, right? Because if you do this keto thing hardcore and you can't have sweets and you can't have pit beans, let's say, you're going to drive yourself crazy. So you've got to have moderation and everything. So pit beans once in a while aren't too bad.
Right.
He's laughing.
Russell, it wasn't me, so just deal with it. Raspberry Rock wants to know, don't you think timing me out was just mean? He got put on a little timeout by our host. So
somebody put him on timeout, huh?
Some guy wearing a shirt similar to mine and a black and white ball cap. But we're not going to say any names. So,
that's too funny.
Couple more here from Pickles. First of all, do you like Spam?
Hell yeah, Spam.
Who doesn't like Spam?
Fried, smoked.
Cooking with Corey hates it. I know that.
Does he?
Mm-hmm.
And
we have a standing bet with the Iowa-Nebraska game. It's the last Big Ten game of the year for each of our teams.
Who's his team?
Huh?
Nebraska.
Who's his team?
Nebraska. He lives in Lincoln.
Is he still claiming Nebraska after that ass whipping from last weekend?
Yeah, I don't know. We could ask Dan
that.
SmokeyGoodness. So,
that was nasty, man.
He hates it, and he made last year. Nebraska lost, and he made a Spam po' boy. And I tell you what, it looked damn good.
It looked pretty damn good. I remember it.
There's nothing wrong with processed meat, especially if it's fried.
Hey, I'm on a plane. Hey, I'm on a plane tomorrow to Maui, so I'm getting my Spam in this weekend.
All right,
you're gonna get it for sure.
Now, one thing I gotta ask, since Spam was brought up by Pickles, did anybody see that Walmart online and Spam.com was selling pumpkin spice Spam?
I saw it. I almost wanted to get it just for the video.
Yeah, I mean, there's just some things that pumpkin spice shouldn't be on, and that sounds like one of them.
Yes. I
don't know. You get the savory. I mean, why not?
I tell you what, CJ, you try it out in the Ninja or something, and let us know how it comes out. I want to see it, even if it's a fail.
All right, I'll see if I can find a can in Hawaii this weekend.
They sold out within an hour. Both
Are
sides.
you serious?
Yep, gone within an hour. There you go, Josh and Babe. Josh says spam in the Ninja Foodie.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Let's
All
get
right.
it trending.
Let's get it trending.
Let's see. What did Russell Raspberry Rock wants to know? What is your take on sushi?
Love sushi. Dustin loves it as well. Nikki doesn't. That's the one thing that I wish Nikki was different in. She doesn't like a lot of seafood, but man, sign Dustin and us up for sushi all day long. He likes the rolls, but California roll is his favorite. Philly roll, but sashimi. I mean, all that I'm game for, man. I could chow down on true sushi every single day of the week.
Agree with you there. That's for sure.
I need to get back to making it, man. There was a spell for about a year where we were making sushi about once a month, and Dustin loved it, but kind of quit doing it because Nikki would always say, okay, you're making that again. So maybe it's something we need to look into, maybe an upcoming video. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How about do you have it like an amazing tube or anything?
No, I looked at that stuff. But I mean, it's really not hard to do. The hard thing if you're doing sushi rolls where you use the rice, it's just making sure you use the right type of rice and making sure you get the consistency down. Other than that, man, it's really easy to make. And then the other thing that will make you have greater results is if you have a really good sharp knife and you keep that sucker wet after each cut you make into the sushi roll.
Right. Exactly. I just was wondering if you could cold smoke some sushi,
Pickles just said, I have no questions. I have plenty of questions, but the questions from the chat are a little bit better, and Phil can talk. So that's all that matters. I think, Dustin, you're a little quiet over there, buddy. You should tell your dad to just relax. I got this on the next question.
Hey, he remember, he likes being behind the lens. My first job out of college, I was actually a news reporter. So I'm trying to get him more comfortable with that. But he usually goes to bed at 9. So he's hanging in like a champ. We can let him talk more. Fix your hair, bro. You look like something from There's Something About Mary.
Oh, I love it.
All right. I got one more for now, but Pickles wants to know what was your worst ever catering gig?
I don't think we've had one. Most of the catering we do up here is either barbecue or fajitas. On Big Hoss, dude, I can go through literally probably 50 pounds of fajitas just on the lower grate. And I mean, knock on wood, right, that we haven't had a bad catering gig yet. I mean, it's not trying to sound, stuck up or whatnot, but we just haven't had a bad one yet.
That's
good.
Now I'll probably have one. Thanks, Charlie.
Yeah. Blame Pickles.
Freaking Charlie.
Right, I'm going to blame Pickles.
Well, damn it, I got a shot sitting here, and it's been a little lonesome.
Me too.
Yeah, it's been a while, man.
Since we got some tightwads in the chat. Cheers, guys.
All right, I'm done for now. Back to you.
All right, cool. All right, Dustin, I got a question for you, buddy.
Dustin didn't like it. He just took a shot.
Did he? Did I just look down and he's taking a shot? Perfect. All right. Dustin, what's your favorite thing to actually cook?
Chorizo and eggs.
Chorizo and eggs, right on.
And I tell you what, man, I love chorizo and eggs, especially being from deep South Texas on a good flour tortilla.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, man, this kid makes chorizo and eggs better than I do. I don't know what he does, what his secret is, but anytime we want chorizo and eggs on the weekend, Nikki and I are like, heck yes, because you're doing it. You know how to make it. He uses cast iron skillet, which I really try to teach him that cast iron is what we really want to cook everything in.
Right.
So yeah, man, his chorizo and eggs are ridiculously good.
Now, have you ever done it on the Blackstone?
We have. We also did it on Little Joe as our other big pit. That one actually, with the firebox, you have the top of the firebox.
Oh, right.
Man, we would use cast iron on top of that and cook breakfast in the morning when we were getting done with smoking and whatnot. That's the only thing I don't like about Big Hoss, because on Big Hoss above the firebox, I've got a 6-foot cabinet that has 6 racks that slide out that fit full hotel pans. So I've lost that aspect of it, but we always take our, portable fryer that we hook up a bottle of propane with and cook on that. But
right.
Yeah, man, with Little Joe, that firebox was awesome. And I had a lot of people when I posted it on Facebook, they're like, man, I've never thought about, cooking stuff on there. I'm like, yeah, man, it's an excellent heat source. So we would love cooking on the top of that smoke box on Little Joe.
Yeah, man, that's pretty freaking crazy though. And I love seeing that people use that firebox. And I've seen
as hot as it
Troy
gets
on his Lone Star, right? That has the cast iron, kind of like plancha, I guess, for lack of a better word of putting it. See here, Rick's Barbecue and Specialties. I don't know if I saw you earlier, but welcome, Rick. All right, this one is not really a question for Dustin, but Phil, what's your go-to drink? Is Makers what you roll with, or is that just what you have?
Yeah, probably Makers. Alcohol has gotten so expensive that we just don't have a lot of it. Nikki really doesn't drink a lot either.
Right.
Any Crown is good. Maker's Mark is good. I like things neat and straight.
Nito
Bandito, Dustin said. But we don't drink a ton, but Maker's Mark is definitely nice and smooth. Crown. Macallan, if you really want to get sophisticated,
yes, sir,
and drink on some Macallan, I'm down. So I wish Nikki drank a little more because it would be more fun. But Macallan, Maker's Mark, Crown, I would say.
Yeah, I had a loan officer send me a Macallan 21, and boy, you just want to bathe in that stuff, man. It was so tasty. All right, yeah. Dustin, what's your go-to drink, buddy? Fireball.
Let's see. Cherry Coke.
Cherry Coke. All right. Mrs. CJ loves Cherry Coke, so I'm with you, buddy.
I'm a little disappointed in him though, because in Texas it's Dr. Pepper, right?
Right.
Somehow he and Nikki used to love Dr. Pepper. They're now like on a Coke and Cherry Coke kick, and I haven't had a soft drink in almost 2 years.
Oh, wow.
But my go-to back then was Dr. Pepper, and you've got to have Big Red if you're eating street tacos and barbacoa, man. So I miss that. The 0-calorie Big Red isn't near as good as the true Big Red. So that's one thing I really miss. I also gave up sweet tea at the beginning of this year to cut out sugars, and man, I can't tell you how much I miss sweet tea either.
Oh, man. I'm a big fan of sweet tea, buddy. I'm with you. And I've had Big Red before, traveling, going to Iowa, or, it's so freaking good. I'm with you on that.
Does Kent like it? Kent was shaking his head like he doesn't like Big Red.
No, I'm not a sweet tea fan.
You're not?
No, I'm sun tea. Just regular, good old iced tea. I don't need the sweet.
With nothing in it, not even some lemon?
Nothing.
Miss Booger said, try Fireball and rum chata. Yeah, it tastes like cinnamon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's up Nikki's alley right there.
Jim's Suburban Barbecue asked if we not get Big Red in SoCal. I don't see it often. If I do, I'll pick some up, but it's kind of few and far between.
You gotta get out to Carolina and try that cheer wine.
Yeah, I keep seeing Hussey make stuff with it, and I don't know. That sun tea, all that does is bring me back memories of my mom. She would get that jug that actually said like sun tea on it. Go put it actually on the balcony or whatever. We live in an apartment, and just put it up there. Go bring in the tea. My mom wants your tea. Oh, that's good stuff. Someone getting a phone call?
Man,
No,
that's a trip. I don't know what that was.
I just got a notice on my phone, but
Everything okay?
yeah, no big deal. It's looks like it's ESPN.
All right. So it's not War of the Worlds. Got it. All right. Nikki, you don't drink anymore. That's what he said, or you don't drink often. But is there anything that you really like to drink if you're going to drink?
I do like to partake in some Fireball from time to time.
Oh.
Or, what is it? I like the wine coolers, the fruity drinks,
I have plenty of fruity drink. I have plenty of fruity drink videos on my channel. If you want to check them out.
Yeah, she likes the old school secret stuff. Can't slip in the bed.
No.
They're delicious. That's all I'm saying. Jim,
Yes, in the boss's ass.
Jim say Kent's vibrator's going off. Zima shots. I love it. All right. If Babe was in the chat, Babe, she put White Claw. White Claw. She loves those.
There we go.
All right. Let's kind of talk about my fun questions that I like to ask. So this is a play all with people. Actually, I'm not gonna do that one. I'm gonna cross that one. 3 channels you watch. 1 big, 1 small, and 1 you think should be bigger.
I knew that was coming. Thought about that today. Big channel, man. I really like, and I consider it big. The Hungry Hussy, and he's got a lot of great content. He's got a lot of different cooking applications that he can use. Meat Cranium, I really like him as well, and I consider him bigger. Yeah. A smaller channel that I like, and I hope I get the name right. I don't think he's in here, but it's Dave's Ohio Backyard Barbecue, I think is the name of it.
Yep.
And if y'all haven't checked him out, he is really cool. And what I also liked about him is his delivery. He's really dry as far as humor goes, but that dude can do stuff on pit maintenance, on cast iron, on refurbishing things. I mean, he's really, really good. His production value is really good. And then I think a channel that is small that should be bigger, and I think he'll get there eventually, is Frack Daddy. He was in here earlier. I really like watching Jared and Melissa. Sometimes they have some really funny content, but Jared, I kind of like to say, is kind of like a Renaissance man, because he's kind of like, what I like to see is that it's old school. It's cast iron stuff. He's got videos on how to season rusted out cast iron. He's got different types of smokers. He's doing some partnerships now with Midland Meat Company. He just did a Wagyu ribeye that looked amazing. So he just celebrated 300 subscribers. I believe it was last week. He did a giveaway. And I think if he keeps putting stuff out like he's doing, I think he'll get there. But he's got some really damn good content.
I actually just scheduled him for the hot seat too.
Oh, did you?
Jared?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe so. I'm trying to find it.
I had asked him today. I actually texted him and asked him if I know he hadn't done it, and I said if he's been scheduled yet, because I know that's a question you usually like to ask is, who we'd like to see on the hot seat, and that's who I was going to say was Frack Daddy. So if you don't have him scheduled, that would be my answer.
All right. I thought I talked to him and scheduled him, but I don't see him on the calendar. So I'll
he's really a good guy, man.
Yeah. I booked one. February 6th is what we're booked out till right now.
Oh wow! Awesome, guys.
We got some shows to do for sure.
Yeah, very cool.
Wow. All right. I could have sworn I talked to him. All right. Hopefully I didn't double book somebody.
Hope you did.
Yeah, we'll find out that night in February, huh?
Yeah.
Well, CJ, hopefully you didn't tell him next week since you're on vacation.
Yeah. No.
So who's running? Is Kent running the show solo next week?
Yeah. Kent is going to do it live by himself and answer all questions involving the number one. Kent could talk to Russell. You could have him on there.
Russell says, "Oh crap, let me do it with you."
Oh my gosh.
I don't think this reaches over the border, Russell.
All right. If you could cook with anybody in history, alive or dead, who would it be?
It has to be one person?
No, it could be more. There's no right or wrong answers here, buddy. Just throw it out.
I'll tell you what, I probably have three. Alton Brown, just because I dig the knowledge that he has. And you know what I think is really cool about Alton Brown is that he's doing good eats again.
Yeah, I like
And what I like about him is he actually, on these first couple of ones that he's reloaded, where he goes back and visited the original episodes, dude, he had some mistakes in those videos, and he calls himself out, which I think is pretty cool because a lot of those, big time chefs, they get big headed and won't admit that, they messed up something. Also with him, man, dude, back when Twitter was, the social media darling, probably about 6 or 7 years ago, we got back and forth probably for about a week and a half. I was challenging him to a smoke off because I told him, I'm like, look, you can probably, of course, run circles around me in the kitchen, but smoking is a different thing and barbecue is a different thing, where all of y'all know that barbecue and grilling is not the same thing. When people invite you over to a barbecue, they're not doing any barbecuing. All they're doing is grilling.
Right.
So Alton Brown and I actually went back and forth a ton on Twitter, and I actually met him in Frisco at Barnes & Noble's. And remember, honey?
I thought you were going to pee yourself.
Yeah, I came around the corner and talked to him and told him who I was. And, man, we were this close to having a smoke-off with Alton Brown. So I'd have to say him. Probably Gordon Ramsay, just because I think he'd be a trip to hang out with, and anybody that has Michelin stars is pretty up there in my book. And then two others would probably be Jet Li and Jamie Oliver. Believe it or not, man, he's got a really good series where it's 5 ingredients.
Yeah,
really
I
quick
love
meals.
Jamie Oliver is one of my
so
favorites.
Those would probably be my 4.
Yeah, Jamie Oliver is one of my favorites. He's one of the first ones I was
Jet
watching on
Tila.
YouTube.
Sorry, I said Jet Li. Jet Tila.
Jet Tila. I love Jet Tila too.
Yeah.
He's a good one for sure.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Not that we wish that you'd be gone or anything, but what would your last meal be? And Nikki, you can answer that one too.
Ooh. Man, that's a tough one. If I was getting executed tomorrow, I'd probably want Indian food and sushi, because
God.
Indian food, man, that's another thing that what happened?
We're laughing at you, man.
Oh God. That's all.
I'd say Indian food and sushi. Maybe some refried beans at the end, so when they hit that trigger, I could leave them a little gift as I pass.
I love it. There you go.
How about you?
Nikki?
Probably a big old fat plate of enchiladas with beans and chips and salsa and guacamole. Just a big fat
guacamole.
Guacamole.
I love it. That's awesome. I haven't had enchiladas in forever.
Oh,
Just some nice cheese enchiladas, man. That's all. It's all you need.
Yeah, we make a really mean version of some damn good enchiladas that we're gonna have to make again when I'm cheating on keto. That's one of her favorite things, and it's all in the sauce. That gravy, and it's
oh yeah, for sure.
Ridiculous.
Oh man, that sounds awesome right now. All right. All right, who would be on your personal Mount Rushmore? 4 people you love.
There's 4 people on Mount Rushmore, right? I can't see what Kent's saying.
He's pointing to that shoulder.
4 people.
The one in the middle of your screen.
No.
Not
that's
her.
A hard pass. That's a hard pass.
That's a hard pass.
Oh wow!
There's a first.
Hey, watch out for that 2x4 that's going to connect with the back of your head.
No, you know what? I'd probably do my parents. I'm adopted, and my parents are who I consider my parents. I don't care that I'm not biologically related to them, but how I
put up with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they do. But how I've been brought up, the things that they've afforded me, I definitely have to put both of them on there. Yeah, I'd probably put Nikki up there. Then if Caleb and Dustin could be up there with me, so we'd probably have a fivesome. I know that sounds pretty generic, but you know, we're not wealthy by any means. We're just day-to-day people, you know, and when it comes down to it, man, family is really, you know, all you have. And so it'd probably just be family, as generic as it sounds.
I'm with you on that, brother. That is sweet. And again, there is no right or wrong answers unless you leave off your wife, and then that's on you. Nikki, who would you have up there?
Oh, I wasn't prepped for that.
And don't put him on there.
Yeah, don't say your husband. Screw him.
That's all right.
My mom would definitely be on there. She is one of the strongest people I know. She's put up with a lot of garbage and yet always has a positive attitude, which is, I think that's where I like to think I get that from. And then, geez.
Three more.
I do this 3 times. You know, like Philip said, we're just basic, generic people, and family, that's what we do. We're not exciting, extravagant people. It'd be my kids and my husband. It would.
Oh, you're so sweet.
That's okay. Dustin, you want to take a stab at it?
Yeah, my mom and dad, my brother, and
Your dog.
Papa, my grandpa.
His grandpa, my daddy said. No, our dog isn't going to be on any damn Mount Rushmore.
All right, very cool, very cool. All right, I have one more. Well, you've already answered my one more question. You want Jared on, so we'll just go ahead and whatever with that. I'm sure I saw a couple more questions in there. You want to ask them and then say your goodnights?
Yeah. Russell, you're gonna give me shit because I'm modifying your question because he's not dumb enough to put hot sauce in his eye. But what is your favorite hot sauce?
What is my favorite what?
Hot sauce.
I thought he said nut sauce.
Nikki said thought you said nut sauce.
Well, you can answer twice there. That's fine. I don't care.
It's not really a hot sauce, but this is one of the things that I thank Nikki for if I hadn't have met her, I'd never known about this. Probably it's called tiger sauce. Mm-hmm. And tiger sauce is ridiculously good. I'm sure y'all know about it. Once I turned 40, man, the really hot stuff really didn't sit well with me. But before, I'm sure like a lot of people, sriracha, and we do a sriracha mayo for our fries and do kimchi and whatnot. So I'd probably say tiger sauce right now, since it's not as hot as, I need it to be, because that stuff is right through me now, man.
So you're not, no, he is 40, Jim. But, so you're not going
45.
You're not going to be doing the Fuego Box challenge anytime.
Oh.
No, like you guys did. We remember watching that. Nikki and I were rolling with what you and the boys were doing, man. We're like, no way, no how, never. Maybe 10 years ago, but man, when you hit 40, my eyes started going bad. I couldn't take hot stuff like I used to. So nope. Yeah, Dustin is all in for it right now, but he says that. But remember a few weeks ago, we were at Taco Bell. Nikki wanted Taco Bell, and they have I don't even remember the name of it. Remember, they have
habanero.
Is it habanero?
Yeah.
One of their packets now is like a habanero hot sauce, and Dustin's like, I want to have some of that. And he took one little taste on his pinky, and he was like, not gonna do it. So his threshold is not as high as he'd like to think it is. Yeah, he talks a big game. He gets that from his mama.
Yeah. All right. The guy one of the two I just timed out has a question for you. Pickles wants to know, have you ever ate at a Michelin star restaurant?
I have not, but it's on the bucket list. I don't care if it's even a 1-star Michelin joint. To get that 1 star, man, you've got to be cream of the crop for sure. So hopefully one day, Nikki has never been to Vegas. So we are going to try to do that. Hopefully 2 years from November, we'll have our 15th anniversary. I'd like to take her out there, and hopefully by then there'll still be a couple of joints that have Michelin stars, and we're just going to go to town.
Well, when you go, let me know. I'll take a drive and meet you guys there for a night.
Yeah,
Sure
that'd be awesome.
Sure you will.
It was still new in our relationship. We weren't working together yet.
Yeah, the fuck we weren't.
Ken remembers everything, doesn't he?
Dude, he's like an elephant remembers everything?
Oh, now we're starting with the fat jokes?
No, I'm just saying isn't that what they remember everything?
Yeah, and I have a big trunk, so there you go.
And you got a big trunk.
Ass,
exactly.
Bushy, your questions, Pickles just asked me to tell you go. I timed out Pickles, and now he's telling Eastwind Farms to tell me to go screw myself. So, oh shit. And work for Peanuts. Yes, Kris, I do work for Peanuts. You are correct, buddy.
Was there a T in there, Kent?
Peanuts.
Okay.
Not
Nikki
peanut.
was asking. She just wanted to
Not peanuts.
No.
Yes, there was a T in there. Bushy Bato wants to know who made Big Hoss.
Big Hoss was made by a young dude. I say young dude, probably 24, 25 years old. His name is Jeremy Nardoza. And he lives over in the Tyler/Henderson, Texas area. And I found him on Facebook, man, when I was wanting to find a smoker to subsidize my income. Like I said, 3 years ago when I was unemployed, I looked all over the place. And, the big thing with these custom smokers is they cost a ton of money. I found him. He was a metal fabricator who was between jobs. And so he was kind of like me, supplementing his income by building stuff for friends and whatnot. Found him on Facebook. We talked over the phone a couple of times. He built everything to my specs. And I guess I can tell you, I paid $2,600 for Big Hoss. And I got everything I wanted on it. That smoker is more like a probably $5,000 or $6,000 smoker. I've tried to contact him in the last month, and I haven't heard from him. I think he's doing oil field work now. But, man, when he told me what the price was going to be, that included delivery, that included new frame, new tires, everything built to my spec. And he showed me the price. I'm like, let me sign a contract now. Let me give you half down right now, because this is ridiculous to get a smoker that big for that cheap. So, it was by happenstance and luck that, I was able to find him. He does damn good work. All his welds is like dropping dimes. I mean, the welding on it is beautiful. So it's really it's an efficient smoker. The next video we're going to put up is actually about Big Hoss, because a lot of people have reached out to me and said, hey man, we want to see more of Big Hoss. So that's going to be probably one of our next videos that we're going to upload, is going to be just featuring Big Hoss and showing you all the bells and whistles.
We had a couple brothers here in town that cooked in my competition last week. They actually have a Yoder knockoff that was made in Kansas. It's got the weighted lid and everything. And the guy had to stop making them because he lost his welder. Not the machine, the guy doing the welding. And if you look at these two pits, I mean, they are, they're perfect. The reason he lost his welder is because he had a guy on work release, and he got paroled out of the Kansas State pen, and he moved back home to the other side of the state. So the guy couldn't keep making pits. And it's a 60-inch pit, with a nice firebox, good tires, everything on it. And they were less than $2,000. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah, man. When you find something like that, you got to hop hop all over it. That's what I did with this guy. And he said, "You think that's a pretty good price?" I'm like, "Yes. If your prices go up after my build, please, because I'm going to give you $2,600 all day long."
Yeah, definitely. All right.
In fact, the first catering gig I had on it was pretty big, and I just about made my money back on that one catering job with it.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I'm replying to Miss Booger here real quick.
Leslie took a dump.
You timed out, Charlie. Yeah, I might have anger issues, but deal with it. That's what it is. Let's see. Speaking of Charlie, he wants to know, what is your favorite go-to dessert? And that's for all three of you.
Only one. Damn. I know what Nikki's going to say. For me, it's probably got to be banana pudding, but it's got to have real ingredients. It can't have banana flavored Jello and whatnot. You got to have real heavy whipping cream, real bananas, even real vanilla wafers. We used to make that quite a bit with real vanilla wafers. I would probably say banana pudding. In fact, Hutchins Barbecue, who's one of the top 50 barbecue joints by Texas Monthly, they have 2 locations up here, one in Frisco and one in McKinney. They're both about 20 minutes from us. On their all-you-can-eat, it's $25, which you can get any meats that they do. You can get any of their sides. They have free cobbler and free banana pudding as well, and their banana pudding is ridiculously good. So I'd have to say banana pudding.
That's one of my favorites right there. I'll tell you the truth.
Man, it's so good, so creamy, so decadent, so sweet.
So creamy.
So creamy.
Just what you think. What's your favorite about
See the hashtag creamy in the chat pretty soon.
Mhm.
Dustin said a chocolate shake.
Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with a chocolate shake.
Nope, nothing at all.
Like the old school diner chocolate shakes that come in like the silver tin, tons of whipped cream.
And Nikki?
Nikki?
I'd probably go with peach cobbler.
That's what I knew she was going to say.
Your hashtag so creamy. Thanks, Joe.
She said peach cobbler, and I knew that's what she would say.
I'm hip. I'm okay with that. All right, kid.
That's all I got, brother.
All right, say your goodbyes, sir.
Hey, guys, I want to tell you, great job tonight. Sorry Caleb couldn't make it to the end, but, you know, just Dad Incredible brought it up in the chat earlier. It is a school night. So.
Yeah, but tomorrow's Friday, right? So.
Yeah, well, they can slack one day as long as they don't have tests, right?
What the hell is he going to learn in 6th grade tomorrow that's so earth-shattering?
Exactly.
Hey, you never know. Could be that new Common Core math everybody likes to teach.
I tell you what, the real trooper is Nikki, man. Nikki works out 5 days a week at Camp Gladiator and gets up at 4 o'clock every work weekday. And she's usually out by 8:30, so she's the one that deserves the kudos for staying up.
What a trooper!
I tell you what, y'all did a great job tonight.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
I'm glad you guys. Glad CJ finally got you guys on, since we talked about it how long ago.
Yeah,
months, I'm sure.
You know, CJ, he gives me crap once in a while and says, "Wait, you invited who on?" I said, "Hey, I just put the plug in their ear, you know." And he's like, "Okay, well, I'll get him in." You know, he's got his contacts, I got mine, and Russell, GFY.
We know we were probably a down week, but that's all right, man. Because
you guys
stop.
You guys did great, and I think we saw close to 60 at one time, and that's awesome.
Yep.
Nice. Excellent.
And we've been going on for 2 hours now.
Yeah.
Go ahead and say your goodbyes to everybody, and I'll wrap it up.
Bye, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks again. And, you know, you guys, I don't think you guys realize how much CJ and Kent put into this. But the first time we saw it, we're like, man, it's like must-see TV. Remember the old school days and on NBC, man. Thursday night also. Kudos to both of you. I mean, I love the way y'all play off of each other. And this is definitely something that we look forward to every Thursday. We haven't been as active lately just because of school and football and other stuff. But man, kudos to you guys for doing this, for being booked all the way to February. I think that speaks volumes of both of you guys and how much all of us really appreciate all of you. So keep turning out good product. Congrats to both of you guys for hitting milestones. I know, see, you're almost at $7,000, I think. So hopefully we can get you over that hump as well. And again, man, we really appreciate it. When Kent told us about this, I think we had like 200 subs, and I'd ask him, I'm like, are you sure we can be on there with, that little of a count? And then he told me about his count. So man, just thanks for letting us hop on. This has been a blast tonight. Dustin was stoked forever and came home today and has said, hey, has CJ sent you the thing to get it set up to go online and blah, blah, blah. So man, it was a blast, and we can't thank both of you guys enough.
Oh, you're more than welcome. More than welcome.
Yes, definitely.
So it was a great time having you guys on for sure.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it. Thanks for letting us hop on.
No worries. Thank you guys for being on. I appreciate you guys. Dustin and Nikki, it was nice meeting you guys too. Great show. And again, it has nothing to do with sub count. If you're interested and you want to talk, you're more than welcome to come on. And it's been a great time talking to you guys for sure. I do apologize for all the BS that happened at the beginning. I sound like it almost sounds like cliche, but that's never happened to me before. So
all right, we worked through it.
Yeah, that's all right. We got through it exactly. Guys, again, thank you. Everybody who dropped a super shot or a super chat, thank you guys. Much appreciated. Again, it's never expected, but always appreciated. As we alluded to earlier, there is no show, regular hot seat next week, so I won't be in Maui. So I hope you guys are all jealous about that, but we're celebrating our anniversary on Saturday. So we're going somewhere nice and tropical, and it's going to be a good time. Kent's flipping the pin.
I didn't get my corporate invite. That's what I'm pissed about.
Yeah, we missed that one. Hey, Deadhead, we're wrapping it up here, buddy. But thanks for stopping by. So yeah, Kent's gonna run the show or do his own live on next Thursday. I plan on doing some lives from the condo that we rented in Maui. There's a nice ocean view behind us. When Miss CJ booked it, she made sure there was a grill or a barbecue I could use. So I plan on doing some cooking out there. Other than that, guys, we're not going to do a hangout afterward. Mike, I just got your text. I'm going to end this because I need to get packed. We're waking up at 4 a.m. tomorrow. We got a 6 a.m. flight. So we're going to shut this down, guys. I really, really appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll go back to our normal schedule on, I believe it's the 18th. No, the 17th. 17th.
And happy anniversary, CJ. Hope y'all have a blast, man.
Thank you. We got Jeff from Dead Broke Barbecue will be there. So, guys,
nice.
That's it. I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend, wonderful week. Thank you guys again for jumping on. Kent, awesome as always. We'll see you guys. Take care. Say goodbye. Ending the broadcast now.